We are going to analyze this detail of the skylight, and this is always something risky. It's nice, I mean, having a skylight, having natural light coming from above, well, it's something that everybody likes. But on the other hand, opening something on a roof, it's a mess. So we have to be very careful. First, we need to realize that we need it, that from the design point of view, it's something necessary. And this is up to the architect. Nobody's asking for skylights. But, well, once it's done, everybody likes it. Everybody likes it. But structurally, we need to know where we open the skylight. And then from the waterproof point of view, we have to work with it seriously, because there's a weakness in this roof. If we didn't have any skylights, that would be a roof, the water will fall down and that's it. But now we suddenly open something in the middle of the roof. So all the water tends to come here, and okay, so we have to prevent that from happening. But first, from the structural point of view, we need to analyze the structure. So here we have structural elements, we have vertical and horizontal elements. We know that we have these two rows of this one and that one. And here we have the horizontal element, that beam here. And on that beam, the beam system is resting in this beam and that beam, okay? So if we open a skylight here in the middle of this roof, I would try to use this beam as one of the edges of the skylight, okay? Why? Because otherwise I would need to create a structural, secondary structure here. So the fewer elements, the better. Well, yeah, usually. So where do we start this skylight? So I will start it here, and then I can go all the way here, but this is too much. I think the distance between these two beams is quite good for creating that opening here. Okay, so we can use this beam as the edge of this one, as the edge of the skylight here, and that beam here. I would do that. If I want to open it here, well, at least make it use this beam, and then we would need something else here. Do we know exactly where the skylights are? We don't. We know that there are some of them, yeah. But yeah, apparently this is, yeah, it's between the first beam here, and this is the second beam. Okay, so this skylight, I think this one starts here, and this one starts probably here. Okay, so one of the skylights will go from this point to this point, and the other one from this to that point. But we don't have this column here. It's on the wall. We don't have any columns here. So this is an open space. Okay, so let's do this. We are going to analyze first the levels. I need to see the south elevation. Okay, so we have this. Yep, so there's a skylight that starts here on that beam and goes up, and the other one starts probably here. Okay, so we will use that grid. Well, now our drawing is different than the original one. We are not tracing exactly. But yes, so this will be the starting point of one of the skylights, and that would be the other starting point, and there's another one here between these two beams. Okay, so let's solve one of them from the structural point of view, and then from the, we will try to do to create the call out here to work with this, because we have we have the window here. Okay, so we have this pyramid, but then we have the opening on that flat roof, or that piece of flat roof here. So let's do it, because last time I showed you how to do it, but it wasn't the same as this one. Okay, so first we need to understand the structure. We don't have to trace this because now we have a different building. Okay, so look at this, the angles are not the same, that it doesn't matter. And okay, so we need to understand where we are what we are doing. Remember that if we select the beam system and we edit boundary, okay, so I would make this up to this point. Okay, you see, we have this beam here, and I'm going to make the most of that beam. Here, apparently, we don't have a beam because this is the projection of the retaining wall. So it's not that important, but for the sake of symmetry, I'm going to extend this skylight up to this point. Okay, and now we click OK, and it looks better. So now it seems that this element or this opening is between two structural lines. If we go to the section, we don't see the skylight because we don't know where the section is taking from, where the project. Okay, it's here. It's between grids B and C. And where is the section? Section is there. Okay, so I want this section through this opening. And now I think we see the opening here. If we use the shaded, yeah, I think this is the beam. This is the second part of the beam, and we have the opening here. We can see that clearly. Okay, so what would I do now? And now we have to use this as the edge of this beam system. That's weird because this is a beam system. This is, we did this by a component model in place. So probably we can't cope this and that. So what would I do? I'm going to edit that in place. I'm going to edit the extrusion. And then I'm going to move this up to this point. Okay, so I'm going to make this beam that big so that finish model. Yeah, so this beam system will be resting on that beam. And now here we need something else. We need something different. So what can I do? I think I would need to create another component model in place. This is a roof. Let's say this is a roof. And I need to create another beam here with this. So let's do that. Extrusion. I have to select a grid. I think it was grid B. I don't remember. And now I'm going to trace this element here. Okay, and now on the 3D view, where is it? Okay, it's here. And there. Now, this element makes sense because first we have used one of the existing beams as this edge and that edge of the skylight, and then we need to close that rectangle, and we need a structural element here and another structural element here. This structural element, it doesn't go all the way because we don't need it because we don't have any columns here. Here we do have a line of columns for this one. Okay, so you see that this huge beam is resting on this line of columns. But here we just need to create a beam just to, because these two elements, they need to rest on something. So we cannot leave this element and this element without any horizontal beam or piece connecting them. Okay, so that's why we have this. So every time we have an opening, and this happens with wood structures, concrete structures, steel structures, we need to create like a frame. We need to create something like that, and it has to be surrounded by structural elements. Unless we have an overhang. Yeah, we can have an overhang, but this is to finalize the building, okay? So here we don't need anything else. But if we want to open something in the middle of the roof, we need the structural elements all around that opening. Okay, so this is what I would do. If we want to create more of them, because I don't know how many. Oh, 1 and 2. Well, at least there are 2 of them, one here and the other one there. So we want to create the second one. We can always select the beam. Oh, yeah. The problem is that here we have a beam system, and this is a second. Yeah, this is the second beam system. But anyway, we're going to finalize this, and then we will copy the other side. Okay. Now resting on these structural elements and on this one, on that one, this one, and this one. Okay, so resting on these 4 structural elements, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. We need the we need this pyramid going up. And how can we do it? Well, I think last time I did it without thinking too much, but now I want to make it better. And yes, I think the first thing we need to do is to create like an auxiliary. I'm going to work with massing and side, but I want to create a shape which I can select to create the first mass. So to do this, I'm going to work with this reference plane. The name, it was slope 1. Okay, so I'm going to work with this reference plane, slope 1. So we're on the 3D model. We are, I think, yeah. This is less confusing, maybe, or more, I don't know. We are going to work with architecture. I'm going to set this on slope 1 because I want to draw something on that plane. And I'm going to work with model lines. And I want to work with model lines here and here. And here and here, and now I want to trim this. Okay, so I have created a rectangle. It's hard to see because maybe wireframe, no, it's even worse. Shaded. Well, we know that there's a grid line here surrounding these elements. 1, 2. Okay, so we have this rectangle, and this is going to be the first shape of our mass, because in our mass we need two rectangles. We need this one, and then we need a horizontal one at a different level. Okay, so we have this, and now there's another level here on the section. So if we are working in this level, I think we can use this roof height. Why do we have this strange? Okay, so this is the level that we need now. And on the 3D view, yeah, now we can see clearly the green rectangle that we have already done here. And now we need another one. We have to go to architecture. We have to set the plane at level 33 feet and 4 inches. And now we need to create another model line. And what is the size? I'm going to do something square just to make it simple. And what's the width? Okay, this is 8 feet. So let's make it 8 by 8. Okay. Now, if I rotate the view, yeah, we can see that that is going to be the final shape of that skylight. Okay, so we have the lower rectangle and the upper rectangle there. Okay, so let's do it. Now we have to go to massing and site, in place. So first, we have to set this on slope 1, because I'm going to select the rectangle that is on that slope. And I can select pick lines because I have already created those lines. So I think it will be much easier if I can, well, much easier, it should be. Okay, this is the first. But why isn't it? It should be slope 1. Pick line. Doesn't let me to pick the line. Okay. I'm going to cancel and I'm going to hide all these. Okay, so that I can see clearly what I'm doing. Yeah, that's much better. Massing inside, in place, set, slope 1, pick, and I want to pick these lines here. Perfect. And now I want to set the level 33 and 4 inches. And I want to pick 1, 2, 3. I picked the at level 34, 33. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Finish mask. There, oh no, finish. I don't have to finish mask. Now I have to modify. And okay, so this is the right one. But now I have to make sure that I can select all the points here. Okay. Let's start again. Massing, in place mask, set, slope, pick lines, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Great. Now set level 33, pick lines, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. Now I select modify. I select this mask, the second one, create a solid form, and there you go. Now we can finish mask, and now we can go to massing and site, assign a wall. I want to select my wall because I created my wall. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And now I want to select a roof. In massing and site, roof, I want to select this square, create a roof. Okay, and if I look at the section now, yes. So this is something that I have to fix when I'm working with the callout, but at least this element is clearly resting on this beam. Okay, so I have to fix all these connections, and this element is resting on that beam as well. Okay, so now things look good. The only thing I need now is the skylight there. And the skylight on a 3D view. That was 8 by 8. And the width of this, can I annotate? I don't think so. What is this? It's 6 feet, 7.5 inches. Okay, so now I have to create a window, one of these flat skylights, edit type, and duplicate. This is 6 feet. And 7.5, and it's square. Okay, and the width is 6 feet, 7.5 inches, and this is 6, 7.5. And now it should fit here. Perfect. Oh, no, that's perfect. As I okay. And now on the section, we see the skylight here. Okay, so now we have to fix this in the callout, but at least everything is working well because the skylight is here. So there's an structural element here. Then we have the wall, and then the wall is resting on a beam here. The other one wall is resting on another beam there. So this is the element of the beam system. This is the other element of the beam system. This is the opening, and now we have a roof here. So we need to create another opening for that roof. And how can we do that now? Yeah, because if we yes, so we do have a roof there. And now we need to open this roof. How can we do that? I don't remember what we did for this roof. Oh, it's we did a roof by slope. Okay, so there are different ways to do that. If we're creating a roof with a roof by footprint, sorry. So here we can edit the footprint. Yeah. But if we were creating a roof by extrusion, that would be different. Okay, so if we are creating a roof by footprint, I think it's quite easier because we only have to edit the footprint. We have to go to the top. And now we can pick lines in the same line that we have done for the skylight. We can use it for the roof. We have to trim. We don't need any slope here, so we can select all those, and we don't want to define the slope. We'd like to okay, so now we do have an opening on the roof. So we have cut the beam system, and we have opened the roof. So in the section now, yeah, we see that there's an open space here. This is the beam, that this beam is beyond the section line. What if you have created this roof using a roof by extrusion? Okay, so that's the other option to work with this. I'm going to show you. Okay, so imagine that you are using architecture roof by extrusion. We are in grid B. And using roof by extrusion, we can do this. Okay, so I don't know, we can do the same shape that we have here. And then we click OK, and we do have the roof here. But if we try to edit the footprint, we can't, because if we edit the profile, this is the profile. How can I open something here? It's impossible. So you have to use this shaft or these vertical openings. So if you use a vertical opening in that roof, okay, so there are two different ways. If we have created this roof using a roof by footprint, you can edit the footprint, and then you just have to create this rectangle here, and that's it. But if we have used the roof by extrusion, then you don't have to edit the extrusion. you have to work with a vertical, and then anything you do will cut this roof. Okay, so there are two different ways to do that. I don't know. I'm working with Melissa's file, and she did this. Okay, that's fine. But if you have selected this kind of roof by extrusion, that's the way to have openings or vertical openings on the roof. Okay, so here I think I can show the. Well, be careful because when we are working with structures, these dots here are structural points. So those are the points or the dots that the system uses to calculate the structure. We are not calculating the structure, but if you activate everything, you will see these red dots. Okay, so if we see and hide everything, I think I'm hiding view category. So you see the analytical model, and well, oh, because we are not using the structure discipline. If we were using the structural discipline, well, those, I don't know, but today they are not showing up. Much better. Anyway, if those dots show up somewhere, it's because you are working with a structural opening, and you have shown these dots, these elements, the analytical nodes. Okay, so make sure that you don't show them because this is good to calculate the structure. Well, those points at this point, they generate an analysis. So since we have a structural element and we have loads on this structural element, this point can go down because of the weight, and then they calculate the. Well, it's complicated, and you need to know more about structure. So we are not showing this kind of elements. Okay. So now I think we can do that. We are ready to work with the section and to work with the callouts. Okay. And now we can start preparing our presentation, because we have to start preparing a presentation. So let's, what kind of, oh, why do I have metric here? I want to insert families. I want title blocks. And okay, so what are we going to use? 22 by 34 horizontal. 30 by 42. Okay, so let's use the 22 by 44. Okay. Now, as always, you have to design something better for this. We have to keep the name, client, the project, and then you have to design your own title block. I'm not going to do it for you, but this is the minimum information that you have to keep. So we load this into the project, and here we have to work with the section. What scale would be the best one for this section? Let's see. Now it's 1/8. Let's work with 1/4. Okay. That scale is not bad to start. And here we need to take the call outs. How many call outs? We need at least 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so let's work with call outs now. Need 1, 2, 3, and 4. That would be enough. And now what is the scale? This is 1/2. I think they can be slightly bigger. This is 1/2. Quarters. Okay. There you go. So something like this is going to be not the first one, because the first one is always a cover page. But this is going to be one of the documents that we have to prepare. We have a section here, and we have the, yeah, so this is the wall to floor transition. We have here part of this footing. Then we have this roof. So here we have the window. Here we see the window at the top part of the window. And here we see this connection between the roof, the beam system, the structural element here, and the wall to the skylight. And here we see the connection of the window of the skylight itself with this pyramid here. Yeah, I think this is enough to define everything. Then we will need more details. But next week we're going to work with this and with these callouts, and then we will work with text and colors. So we will do the same here. And probably, I don't know if we can take another callout from this. I'll think about it, because I think we have a lot of, yeah, there were, I showed you details, window details here, and the connection between the window and the wall, it's something important as well. Okay, so probably we will need a call out here to define what's going on here in this bottom of the column and the top of the column, the window and the top of the window. Okay, let's see. But so far, I think this is more than enough. I'm going to post the final assignment, and on the final assignment, I will post the requirements. For sure, with these sheets, we need a new one. And this one has to be 100. And that will be the cover page. And for the cover page, as always, we need to take a nice perspective of this building. Which one? I don't know. Okay, so you have to figure out what the most appealing perspective of the building is. Will it be a camera like this? No. Well, yeah, not bad. But no, I don't like it too much. Is it a section perspective? Let's work with a section. Um, section 2. The section box. Now we can work with a perspective. Yeah, maybe a section perspective is good. Yeah, I like this one. Anyway, you need a cover page. So for the cover page, I'm going to show rock scale. So we have the cover page, we have this, and for sure we're going to need something else. What is the plan that explains better the building? We're going to need a plan for sure. One-eighth. Too big. 1/16. Yeah, probably we will need a couple of plants. Oh. And okay, so this is the layout of the final presentation. For sure, we need a cover page. I think the perspective can be better than this one. I like this part, but I don't like this. Well, probably because not all the windows are there yet. Well, I don't know. Try different things and try different, you can be a render or whatever. And then we are going to, but this is going to be the last one. Okay, so this is this can be the 4. So number 2 are the plans. Oh, and we need a site plan. Okay, we're going to need the 101 is the site plan. And for the site plan, remember that we still have to do the topography. But topography, it will be a piece of cake. But since we are in this outstanding place, we need to create a topography for the site plan. Yeah. Okay. So next time for the parish, I will try to record a tutorial. Well, there's a tutorial on the beam system and their skylights on the parish museum. We are not using topography, but we will have to do something for the site plan in the parish, probably to add something about landscape because it's like a flat area. So we will need to add some landscape. And for this, I will show you how to do the topography very quickly. We don't have trees, we don't have anything because at 10,000 feet of, yeah, I think it's 10,000 feet or even more. We don't have any trees and we don't have anything. We only have just rocks, these small plants. Okay.